holiday is yours. But we all share with you the hope that this day brings us closer to freedom and to harmony and to peace. No matter how different we appear, we're all the same in our struggle against the powers of evil and darkness. I hope that this day will always be a day of joy in which we can reconfirm our dedication and our courage, and more than anything else, our love for one another. This is the promise of the Tree of Life. We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share.
Fuck you, it's the Whitey the White Guy show. For those who don't watch our show, I'm Whitey, this is Cracker. We did something called a Prelude to Review. He told me about a film he knew I'd hate, and boy did I. It was called the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special, starring a bunch of asshats and a fucked up looking Mark Hamill, my god. And so he tells me about it, and now I'm going to respond, fuck you! This was the most perplexing, baffling, painful. I hated it instantly. You could feel the evil resonate. That I hit play and I was like, oh, bad shit's on the horizon. And then the Tombstone guy come around with a shotgun and he's like, and evil's coming with me. Only he's like, and the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special's coming with me. I'm like, ah! This was a fuck all. This was the worst. Nothing redeeming. Nothing.
Not even B. Arthur?
No, my god. I didn't hit her song as
there you
much.
Go. I told you. But go ahead.
I didn't. Oh my god. 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 It was awful. Everything was awful. Everything was wrong. Like, and what the fuck was with Hamill's face?
Okay.
That was like, it was jarring.
After filming,
he's too blonde.
After filming the first Star Wars, and before they filmed Empire Strikes Back, Mark Hamill was in a severe auto accident, and he had to have plastic surgery on his face.
Yeah.
And I think this came up so fast, the scars hadn't totally healed, so it was a bad makeup job and a bad wig. They're just trying to hide the disfigurement. But he looked like a melted Ken doll. So
they tried to hide the disfigurement. What went wrong with Carrie Fisher? Oh yeah! She's a crazy person. So everything was. This was so fucked up and wrong.
You didn't like Lumpy?
Oh my god. So okay, like you were saying, Star Wars just is this big success, shattering the records at the theaters, and so they decided to do a holiday special. In the first couple weeks of watching this was, what are they called? Wookiees? Wookiees watching shit on TV. So you have, the very first thing, you have Chewie and Han Solo are in a ship, and it's like, looks like poop. It's just awful. It's just
well, it's a TV special. You got to keep that in mind.
So no budget spent here, and poor, like all these guys. This great big huge success. All these actors: Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford. I like Harrison Ford. I like Mark Hamill. I felt bad for them. They clearly
didn't want
contractually obligated.
Yeah.
They had to do this, and Harrison Ford's trying. But he's sitting there with Chewbacca, and they're trying to get back to Chewbacca's home planet and house for Life Day. And the only mistake they made was not letting the audience know what the fuck Life Day is. It's like, we're going to get you home for Life Day, buddy. It's like, are you a little more concerned about surviving this and not being shot down? And the Empire's chasing them, and and they kept taking stock footage clearly from the film and cutting it in. And that stuff was like, oh, that's it. And then like, oh, this is from the special. Wow, I see what they did there. You can
easily tell the difference.
Holy God. And so we have no idea what the fuck Life Day is. And then you get 2 seconds of the characters you give a shit about.
Right.
And then you're at Chewbacca's house with his wife named Maraka. There's something.
I just remember Lumpy the kid.
There's Grandpa, and you wrote. You said something about how his face looked like the mascot Smush. Oh hell yeah, dude!
I said it looked.
Oh hell yeah!
You're retarded. I said it looked like a Wookiee Halloween mask was left on the radiator.
It was like, wow, this is for kids, right?
Yeah.
Right. Are we on the same page? Star Wars, it's clearly aimed at kids. You got the little Lumpy running around. Okay? He's a kid, right? So you're following Lumpy most of the time. But then you see that face, you're like, fuck me! Take 10 minutes and redo the face! Like, that's, like, goddamn. This was so hard to watch, dude. So, and then, who was his name? Like, so Lumpy's wife, Makoka, she's watching TV. So here you got Han and you got Chewbacca. You meet his family, and then you spend the whole time watching them watch television.
Yeah,
she's watching them with a cooking show.
She's watching a cooking show. And it's Harvey Korman,
who I love until now. Now I'm like, fuck you, Harvey Korman.
What did you think of his little shtick when he was in multiple art?
Everything about this was just hard to. And it's just like, did you? Because they're clear. Okay, they were trying to be funny there, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
I could detect an attempt was happening at humor, and I had no idea. Like, no, it was so. It was like unnerving, like the
it was painful,
and it was just like, oh my god.
And then did you notice the part when he was really getting into like his stick, how his hair was starting to fall out of the neck and everything?
And I'm like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Because this could be a horror movie and make a lot more money. Like, they tried for comedy and they got a horror film. This was fucked up, dude. So
I forgot to tell you about the part where Lumpy, because you're mentioning how they're watching in our previous prelude, they're watching TV. I forgot to mention how Lumpy watches the Cirque du Soleil performance.
Yeah, so when I'm like, this is for kids, right? And so all of a sudden, it's like the gayest thing I've ever seen is happening. On this little thing, and everything goes back to like the Atari era technology, Atari. So it's kind of like, oh, nostalgia. But then it's like, oh, those two guys are fucking. It's for kids, right? So they clearly missed to say they missed the mark. It's like to say that the Titanic got a little wet. I mean, that's.
What about Grandpa watching his virtual reality?
Exactly. So they tried to do something. This should have been aimed at kids. If you're going to do this at all, it should have been aimed just at kids. Instead, they had tried to have something for mom. There's something for Grandpa to relate to. But it's like he's watching a porno, and then it turns into a song with the lady, and I'm just like, the tone is wrong. Because she's like, oh, I'm going to get you so horny, baby. I'm going to get you so horny. I'm going to fuck you in all your holes. And I'm just like, this is for kids? So you got the little gay guys running around on the thing, and then you got Grandpa watching a porno. Like, this should be called The Aristocrats. This isn't supposed to... No, what is happening? And then the Chewbacca's all looked fucked up in the fur, and the eyes behind it, and you're like, Jesus. And then they didn't speak English like Chewbacca doesn't.
Chewbacca never spoke English.
Right, he speaks Chewbaccanese. So he speaks Chewbaccan. And so they all speak Chewbaccan, but it was all the most annoying sound. Like, the little Lumpy is the most annoying little twat. Like, shoot him. Just shoot him. So
and like I said, no subtitles.
Yeah, no subtitles. They're like, eh. That was spot on. I actually hit that one well. And then she's like, Arr! He's like, eh! And then Grandpa's like, eh! It's like, what am I watching this for? Cracker, you shithead.
Well, Roger too.
Roger, fuck you, dude.
How about the greatness? How they distracted the Empire by making them watch Jefferson Starship?
That was the best part. That was the best part. There was a moment where I didn't hate it, and so the Empire shows up. They're looking for Chewbacca, and Chewbacca's on the run, and then there's like again like a little Atari entertainment boxing because they're clearly selling toys. Is the point, and then Art Carney shows up, who you said was supposed to be Landau.
Roger said originally the Art Carney character was going to be Lando, and then I don't know,
maybe
they realized this is retarded and we need Billy D. Williams.
Art for the film.
Yeah,
it was.
There wasn't going to be Art Carney specifically as Lando, but his character, you know, the guy running the trade shop or whatever, was going to be.
And so they end up Art Carney. Art Carney shows up and he's like, "Oh, yeah, let me show you how this works," to the imperialism guy. And a starship, Jefferson Starship, starts playing the tune. And I didn't hate the tune. And then the imperialist guard guy's like actually tapping his finger along to the music, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of fun." The fuck. And then they tried this in the 70s, so technology was new and effects were new. So they took the microphone that Jefferson Starship is singing to, and they made it glow pink, but it looks like a dildo. Was that just me? Like, it's just like, is this for kids? And then just the effects weren't quite there. So like the whole drum set, they tried to make it glow, and it just obscured. You couldn't see what the hell you were looking at. So it was just like, it was. But they show up. They're supposed to be Nazis, and they're tearing up the place, and then it just got so convoluted and fucked up. What else? It was hard to watch.
What do you think about the cartoon?
That was god. And that's it. It got confusing because the kid sits down to watch a mini, to basically what a laptop would be, and I guess intercepts a message from the
cartoon.
Yeah,
the cartoon.
What was it even supposed to be?
The cartoon was a previous adventure that Chewbacca and Han Solo had done.
But it was like the adventure they were on at the moment.
No,
wasn't it? They were coming.
It was before everything was happening now.
Okay. I don't get it. Like he sees what his old man is up to. But it's like.
Were you now you were talking about how you cringed every time you saw the Wookiee outfit. How much did you cringe seeing the animation in this cartoon?
It was awful. And then of course everybody points to Han Solo's face. It's so fucked up. I didn't mind Mark Hamill's like let's do that instead. Let's just have him show up drawn instead of him, because again. When because he's the first one who shows up, right? He's like, he's got R2-D2 and he's fixing something. I'm not connoisseur. I'm assuming that's referenced back to the movie.
Yeah, because this special took place before The Empire Strikes Back, so it's before the first and second film.
And then he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And you're like, "Oh my god, what is wrong with your face?" It was
it's not his fault. He got a car.
Yeah, he got a car. But, the animation on that was surreal. And then, here's the thing we should have done. We should have got some Jack and Coke and 10 other things. And then every time somebody said friend, take a shot. It would have killed us. It would have killed, like, friend. And it's like, oh! And it would have been much more enjoyable. This was like, it was, Boba Fett shows up.
Yeah, that's the only significance is this is the official first appearance of Boba Fett.
Wow. So they were trying to. Oh.
You didn't like the B. Arthur scene in the bar? Really? I thought she did great. I liked her. I loved her shtick as like the grumpy bartender.
And maybe it was the 70s, because they did shit like this a lot. Like the 70s had. What did you call where you would just take all these different dynamics and the animation styles and the puppetry, and you'd put it all together in one thing. You don't really do that anymore. Because all this shit was brand new. Let's play these toys. And then you had the band that looked like ball sacks. Is that a thing?
A lot of these characters that were in the bar were in the first Star Wars film.
Yeah. Did they look like ball sacks at the time?
It did.
Wow.
But the original movie didn't have Harvey Korman. Harvey Korman who could break through a hole in his head. Yeah. He was so unfunny in this special. We had to deal with him like 3 or 4 times.
It was horrible. And then I thought. Like, there's a bit where he's like, you said those 6 words, and he counts them off. Oh, he's got 6 fingers. Were the 70s this bad? Like, what the hell?
What about when Lumpy was watching Harvey Korman try to tell him how to build that transmitter, and he was the malfunctioning robot?
That was painful as shit. That didn't make it, like... He wouldn't...
You are angry.
He wouldn't leave that in there. But it was just, like, weird, really weird choices. Like... I'm watching, what do they call Wookiees? I'm watching Wookiees watch things. Why? Like, Star Wars is exciting because it's like, man, they're going over here, and it's like, pew, and then the thing, and now I'm watching people watch TV. No, I'm watching TV. You shouldn't be watching TV. You should be doing things. And
what about I didn't mention this. Did you notice that how Han Solo defeats the stormtrooper?
You murdered the guy.
No, you didn't even notice it.
What?
He knocks the gun out of his hand. The stormtrooper trips over the gun and falls to his death. You must have checked out way before this.
Yeah, and then at the very end of the film, they show you that establishing shot that the animation doesn't fit with anything else, and the whole the railing is back and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like what?
What do you think about the Life Day celebration?
Oh, it's awful.
When they lift up the snow globes.
It was awful, and they just it was something where Han shows up with Chewie, the whole thing ends, and you're like, oh, this is the end of the thing. And then they're sitting at the table, and it's like, oh, it's not over yet. Okay. And then that ends. And then they're going off into the light. You're like, oh, this is the end of the thing. And then they're like, at another thing with all these Chewbacca's, like, it's not over yet? And it's like, and it's went on like 9 times, where it's like, it felt like this should be the last thing. And then it kept going. It's like fucking...
And then Carrie Fisher sung her song.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
She sung the Life Day song to the tune of the Star Wars theme. And now that you've watched all this...
And she had all her clothes on. And that just
now, can you tell me after all this what Life Day is?
I have no idea. Exactly. What the fuck is Life Day? What's it about? And it's like, you seriously, like...
Hey, Internet, I want you to know. He texted me...
read this shit.
I
had to stop after walks. I'm like, oh my God.
This was great. I was wondering, when Whitey was going to text me, and I got... Okay, where is it? Yeah, see. Here we go. Saturday at 2:27. I haven't even got past the intro, and I hate you so much. B fucking Arthur. Jesus, what was the budget on this? Tree fitty. What is with Mark Hamill's face? I explained the Mark Hamill situation. He says, yeah, I heard that. Okay, 3:14. This could take a while. I can only handle this a few minutes at a time.
Small increments, America. Small increments.
What I say, blah, 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 that's fine. Whitey responds, I can't kill you enough. I'm only 22 minutes in. And then I said, well, at least this should make No Holds Barred easier to watch.
And it did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, word. And I said, don't forget, though, Star Wars is 90 minutes. You have an hour left, so you told me to eat poop.
Yeah. That was the metaphor I was thinking of, because it's like, do you like baked beans?
Yeah.
I don't like baked beans. Like, it's my kidney beans, baked beans. I can't. But it's like, so if someone was like had a gun to my head and made me eat feces or baked beans, it's like the Star Wars holiday special, No Holds Barred. It's the beans.
Then at 3:57, you say, why is this a porno now?
Why was this a porno?
So obviously it's Grandpa's virtual reality scene, and then you just type in, "da fuck kids show, da fuck."
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make you watch highlight footage of paint drying.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm going to paint something and watch it dry.
And here's the final messages regarding this. You said, "This is baffling. This is baffling. I'm gonna go do my taxes." I shit you not.
Yeah, and then
we never talked about it again.
Yeah, and I didn't do my taxes, and I don't know how I'm getting back yet. This was so fun. It was baffling. It was like, why would you make these decisions?
Mm-hmm.
So if again, No Holds Barred, what they did right was they understood their audience and they made a film for their audience. 14-year-old kids who haven't had sex yet and aren't going to college, and the film was great.
Kind of.
For the kids.
Yeah.
But this was like, here's something for mom, here's something for grandpa, here's a porno, and I'm just like, aren't kids watching this? Is this?
What about the scene when they're talking to Luke Skywalker, and I think her name is Nala, the wife. She's having a bad day, so Luke Skywalker's he's like, come on, Nala, give me a smile. You know you could do better than that, please.
I hated it. I fucking hated it so much. I hated it so much. And
or what was it? When
I didn't like Jefferson Starship.
At the end, what was it when Art Carney's delivering gifts and he won't give?
Art. Jesus.
He won't give the mama Wookiee a gift unless she gives him a kiss. How uncomfortable
It was
that?
so... You could tell, again, this was supposed to be a joke. There was a bit. They're trying to make me laugh. But it's just like, why would you make that call? Like, who... Oh, it was... did George Lucas write this word for word? And so here's the thing. Why were we shocked when the prequels sucked? Right? Because clearly George Lucas is a moron who just somehow got lucky as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like his writing, I imagine he wrote this whole thing.
I honestly don't know.
Penned it. Because it feels like this, feels like the prequels.
Mm.
Like the thought process behind the prequels. And so clearly, like, whoever made the original Star Wars films, with like the other people involved, the other camera guy, other producers, assistant directors, they're like, George, no. And you hear about George Lucas wanted Han Solo to be like a squid-faced fish guy.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I've heard that. But it's like, he had horrible ideas that they're like, no, George, let's get somebody in there to do the thing. And they made it work. And then the moment all those voices of reason were gone, we got the prequels. And so you could see this is the precursor to the prequels. And just... So, yeah, it was terrifying.
Is this worse than Howard the Duck that I made you watch? Is this the worst thing so far in all of our Prelude series that I've made you watch?
This made Howard the Duck feel like a blowjob. This was... and this is so not fair because you know all these shitty things that I don't know exist. And then I'm like, here's the cutting edge of D.B. Sweeney, and it's fun.
No, it wasn't.
It was awesome by comparison to this.
Oh, yeah, but so as, having a hysterectomy and your rectum falling out at the same time.
You ever had somebody take a hammer to your ball sack and smash both your testicles?
What was it the one time? I would rather have pink sock disease.
Pink sock disease. My God.
Google that, internet. Yeah.
What movie were we talking about where it was like, this is after having the shits for 3 days and your inner asshole is all raw.
Critters.
And critters. And you don't want to poop anymore, but you have to poop, but you don't want to wipe. Like, that's no holds barred. Then there's this. Like, this was that much worse. This was
worse
unnerving.
this is worse than Critters?
Yes.
Good.
This is the bottom. This is the worst thing we've done.
Yes. I don't think you're going to have a hard time topping this.
No, there is no topping this. There is.
I mean, for me to watch.
Oh my God! Have you seen the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special?
Once.
How did
what the best
does it
is?
get worse?
Here's the thing. No, it was great. You watched this completely sober over the span of like 2 weeks.
Why?
I was drunk and eating sandwiches.
I should have ordered a pizza. I should have scored some weed. I was unprepared. America, be prepared.
Oh, and you know what's even better? You still got to edit in clips of the film into this video too. So you got to look at Grandpa Wookiee again. Especially the part when he's wearing the virtual reality helmet and it looks like he's jerking off.
And she's like, baby, I'm going to suck your ass. I'm going to lick your ass. I'm going to suck your lips. It's just like, and then you cut over here to little, what the fuck's his name?
Lumpy?
Sweaty balls. And he's doing some kid shit, and the kids are like, yay, and it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do this? This is so... And all the makeup on Harvey Korman when he's doing the cooking thing, it was so unnerving. And the thing with the head, and he pours a drink, and it's just like, who? Why? Why would this why does this exist?
You know what I really loved? And I can just imagine this, the opening credits when it's like a variety show.
It's a variety show, yeah.
But it's a variety show, but they say
That's what
starring Mark
were.
Hamill and Harrison Ford. But they even give credit to Lumpy and the rest of the Wookiee family.
Oh my God! So it's just like, how, why wasn't you think about when you see a film like this, or a project like this, and you go, all these actors, all the producers, in a studio had to sign a check, and somebody's had to write a script. There was it said the script writers, which bullshit. It was just George Lucas, and so it's like all the writers, all the assistant director, the DP, the camera operators, just all the hundreds of people that go into, and then the music.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody sat there and wrote music for this, and it was like way too much all the time. And I'm like, somebody had to sit there and go measure by measure and write notes and sit there with a horn section and perform all this music for this. And nobody of those hundreds of people went, George, this is shit. What are you doing? Not once. Not one.
Oh,
Except fucking Lando Christian didn't show up. What's his name?
Billy D. Williams?
Billy D.
Well, he wasn't hired yet. Because remember, it was going to be Art Carney's character. You know what it was? I bet you what it was is people saw this piece of shit, and then they realized, great, now we got to get people to see our movie, The Empire Strikes Back. That's why Billy D. Williams is in it, because he's the only man that could have saved it.
That was because he was black.
Yeah, but he's the coolest black man in the universe.
He is.
Even you got to admit that.
No. What I'm saying is, like, I thought it was because they needed to bring in a black audience, because it was for white people.
You're stupid as shit.
That was my theory.
Anyways,
final
thoughts?
Oh my god.
You look like you're still giving birth from like 2 weeks ago when I told you about this.
This is just, it was horrendous. It was everything, it lived up to the hype. That's the one thing. I didn't mind the Jefferson Starship tune. I'm like, oh, Jefferson Starship.
So it wasn't all bad.
I gotta check these guys out. But like every single thing was wrong and horrible. Fuck you, dude.
Thanks, Roger.
Fuck you, Roger. So this is the Whitey White Guys show.
Is
it? Because I'm pretty sure we're actually in hell. And Hillary's going to win. And Cam Newton is going to win the Super Bowl there.
Little Lumpy will be her vice president.
It wasn't, dude, tell me. It was jarring. His eyes. You'd see his eyes and there's a person there. You're like, ah! What the fuck? So, I'm Whitey, this is Cracker.
You know what? The thing is, though,
it's so fucked up.
If you're new to this Prelude series, basically what he says is, this was his idea to begin with.
I know! I know!
He's going to make me watch a movie that I've never seen that he knows I'm going to hate. He explains it to me in these films, and then later on, I'll watch the movie, and then I will give my rebuttal.
Yeah.
And then we've been taking turns.
Mm-hmm.
You got your homework cut out for you now, buddy.
God. Hey, have you ever heard of that phenomenon where people go in to have a surgery and the anesthesia doesn't work and they feel everything? That's what this movie is.
Did you just get a circumcision with no anesthesia?
No anesthesia. And now I'm... hold on a second. Hold on, America. Hey, who's winning? Hey! Nice!
It's Super Bowl Sunday right now, and he would rather ask the pops in the other room who's winning than talk about
Denver's winning. So maybe we're not now. I don't know. Go get him, Manning. So, that's it, I think.
You don't have anything else to say?
I have so much, dude. We could do this all day. We could do this all day. We might do a part 2. I'll watch and go. I almost said that.
The thing is, though, like I said, you got to splice in clips too.
I know.
Well, you might not. It depends.
No. They have to know my pain.
Hey,
they have to know my pain.
What would happen? Would this special be redeeming if, like Troll 2, everything was made better if they celebrated Life Day with bologna sandwiches?
So if
and they stopped the Empire because of the carbohydrates and the toxins.
See, the one thing that could redeem this is if it became a really hot lesbian porno. But then you're like, isn't this for kids? So there is no redeem. The one thing that could redeem this would make it even more bizarre and perverse. Like, how do you feel? We'll keep going. How do you feel?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about this as a dad? Like when you watch this and you go, if you were Dave, you were born in the 40s or 50s, and it's the 70s, and your kid's watching this, and your kid's like 8, and you're watching this, and it's like, is my kid watching a porno now?
I would probably react the same way.
You'd be upset.
So this came out in the 70s. Honestly, I would probably be like Red from that 70s show.
Yeah.
I would think my son or daughter is retarded, and I'd make them turn the shit off.
The little guy's jumping around with the thing. I'd be like, is my kid gay? Because he's really into this scene. And then it's just so fucked up and wrong. Everything is wrong.
Now then you understand why there's all this talk about how it's only aired once and it's never been released.
Yes.
You totally understand?
You totally understand. Like somebody said, Star Wars only it's a variety show.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else went, yeah, how? How did that happen? But again, no holds barred.
Or
They
Troll
made
2.
Troll 2.
Would you watch Troll 2?
No,
a second
but
time?
the metaphor here is apt.
Okay.
No holds barred.
Okay.
We were talking about before. Wrestling movie. Hulk Hogan, aimed at the kids, 14-year-old kids. They stayed, like, tone-wise,
Mm-hmm.
everything stayed for 14-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't suddenly, you know, there was a little bit of sexiness with the lady, but it never became a porno. And I forgot to mention this. Terry, Hulk Hogan was way too altruistic and too much of a good guy. But it's like, it's he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the villains were way too villainy, but they're supposed to be.
Right.
It's for young 14-year-old kids that haven't gotten laid yet and aren't going to college. So they stayed within the framework of what their audience is going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck was this for? Who the fuck was supposed to enjoy this? Nazis? Like who? And then the Nazis showed up, and I'm like, oh, well, here's something for the Nazis.
Oh, Luke Skywalker was blonde hair, blue eyed.
Oh my god. It was just so, like, who? Why? So, I'm Whitey. This is Cracker. Are we good? How do we end this thing?
Good Wookiee.
Good. Yeah. Good Wookiee. Oh.
I think you're about ready to cry.
Yeah, I am.